Happy New Year's to everybody, and hope everybody is safe. Hope everybody is doing well. Starting off the new year really well. That's always the goal. I'm making some changes for myself too. Not so much like the usual fitness stuff. Um, One thing is to learn to be uh, a little more consistent. It's tougher to do those type of things. Get this a little softer. There we go. I think that's a little softer. Yeah, this is what looking a little older nowadays. But unlike older people, that old saying is you can't teach old dogs new tricks. I'm always learning something. I got this cool little stream deck thing that I'm learning on to, um, all the technology stuff. I'm learning the apps. I'm learning the AIs. I'm learning and always trying to be better and catching up with all these things. I love it, and um, I was just reading the new books, learning more about myself. Stoicism, emotional intelligence, all those things to continue to improve. But anyways, so today's topic is there's always this whole belief that military members believe that I believed it, that because we work on aircraft, that we won't see it, and they won't want us because there's also a stigma. Whatever the case may be, we just feel undervalued. And I'll tell you, as I go around talking to people, talking to more director of maintenance, speaking with more personnel, recruiters, talent, they're looking for military guys, and it's kind of gonna make some people uncomfortable, but it seems like that the military is the most ideal type of workers that the companies are looking for, and maintainers are elite. I think they're a great pool that will fit great organizations, because we didn't go through a Part 147, but a lot of that stuff, they don't teach you in how to work on a specific aircraft. There's so much aircraft out there, and they only cover very broad stuff. And in the military, they teach you hands-on stuff, the basics, the fundamental things as well. And people believe that we just did some. We only worked on the aircraft itself and never taught how systems work. Well, we do go to tech school for nearly a year. If some of us go as much up to 2 years to go to tech school, which is classwork. Sometimes we do, let's say, a year of hands-on work, before we even get to our base. There's the tech school, then we get on base doing how to do marshaling and the basic stuff, the general stuff, very basic stuff. And then once we master those, then we go to more school, more technical things, and then we make sure that we know our job on top of that. So there's always developing and training throughout the years, and it's just like any great organization. There's always training, there's always improving, there's always goals to pursue. And the same thing in the military. The military is always, there's not just our skills, but also our leadership skills is super important in the military. You can't just be a mechanic and not have high standards in fitness. You can't have centers just to sit in a corner and try to hide. The military expects you to be a leader. So they push you to be a leader. They take us to Airman Leadership School, then NCO school, then there's senior NCO school. Always developing the soft skills, not just the hard skills of how to turn a wrench, how systems work, you work on a team, and we need to work on that too. So there's always those skills, and the military pushes that. And then there's the level of the environment they're in, right? Um, not this is not a bashing. Again, this is not to bash the civilian side guys who never went into the military, because I've met some really great, amazing civilian guys. They're awesome, and but then again, there's the guys who it's like fresh coming out of school is kind of tough. And it's the same thing. Guys who are coming into the military, they're not the same, right? And but I do feel confident that our young guys that come in the military have a different mindset. A lot of them are go-getters. Yeah, some do the stupid 20-year-old thing, but for the most part, these guys are hungry to learn, hungry to serve their country, hungry to work on some badass planes. So, um, like I said, if you're a civilian guy and you're watching this, and I might sound arrogant. It's not just my belief, because I haven't really. I've worked with a lot of civilians of all types, from businesses to marketing to retail stuff to um, contracting. Since I've been out, I've been dipping my hands in a lot of things, nonprofits, general aviation. Um, just the mindset of people. It's not a lot of go-getters, I guess. There's a lot of things lacking: discipline. Making sure all the when you're a crew chief, all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. Things got to be perfect, and the military has high standards on that. And it's the same thing in the civilian side. Those things got to be documented and right off the whim. Like guys are getting started, because they just military has some great standards, and I think it's good for young men. If you're a military maintainer and you're a veteran and nobody has ever told you that before, that's a problem. That's why I think, like my title says, is system is broken. There's a lot of stigma out there that you are broken, but it's the opposite. That that's the problem I'm trying to fix here. Is that employers are looking for you. A lot of these director of maintenance guys are the ones that are feeling the pain because they're looking for great mechanics on the floor. I would reach out to recruiters, and recruiters are like, yeah, we need people. Like, give me your name, give me names, give me people. I interview them, and then I follow up with them, giving people, and then or I'm trying to get them starting a company. Crickets, nothing. So I talked to a lot of people who I was like, who's really like? I almost questioned if there was a shortage. It made me question if there was people like really looking for technicians, because there was this whole like I built this whole business because my whole goal here is to make sure that mechanics in the military have jobs on the outside, and if there's a need, then hey, I got you a whole freaking batch of people, uh, a whole like awesome guys. I got elite mechanics who I've worked with. They're awesome, have the great mindset. They'd be great for people's organizations. And guess what? And there's just crickets. It made me. I want to say for a couple of years, I was like, dang, is this going to be a good long term uh, thing to do? This business for the long term? And as I get more and more and more understanding, like I'm talking to the wrong people. And that's the thing is that I wanted to expose to you guys is that guys are looking for you. And a lot of these director of maintenance, former, a lot of them are former military. And are we like, is there things that we need to improve? Oh yeah, heck yeah. So, um, that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys, and we're going to be discussing is don't get stuck just doing your normal job. Try to go out there, learn other skills. Okay, you're not behind. You're just they're looking for you every job. The AMP really is about learning, learning more. You're going to get onto an aircraft. You got to learn about that aircraft. A lot of it, if you worked in heavies, that helps. That helps translate the big bodies, right? Because that's a whole different beast. And even if you're a fighter, I met a lot of fighter mechanics, former fighter mechanics, and then they went into the work for major airlines. A lot of them. I helped companies a whole pipeline sent to them. So don't think that you're behind. Okay. They think that you need school and they think that you need more training, which is true. There's always going to be training, and it's not bad for training. And you think that you got to start all over. Don't make them believe that, especially recruiters, because they're trying to gain leverage from you. But no, you got a set of skills that they need, and that believe that doesn't come into reality. Because I've helped, you know, uh, military departments in major airlines and regional airlines, help them find mechanics. And some of them were heavies, some of them were helicopter guys, some of them were fighter guys. And director of maintenance guy was a fighter guy. He's a director of maintenance. I want to say he's regional director or something like that. Well, the one I'm talking about, right? So it really just comes down talking to the people who are looking for you. And so a lot of times, these regionals and major airlines are looking for guys. They have these programs because they're looking for you guys. So you guys are like the Navy SEALs of aviation maintenance. They're looking for you guys. All right. So that's not crazy talk. That's not hyperbole. They're looking for you guys. They're looking for, like, I've had all different types of owners, director of maintenance, presidents, all like coming to me looking for you guys. And what I want to do is have more podcasts, have more shows, bringing guys from the civilian side. I already got a handful of them, uh, talking about these things. So I just want to bring this out to you, so that way you don't feel that you're undervalued, and not to get, uh, someone trying to pull one over you on your pay and your skills and trying to talk down to you. They're just trying to negotiate with you. That's part of negotiating. So let's think about reality for a second, okay? They don't train in perfect conditions, right? We're always on the go, always moving town, deployments and stuff like that. We're training under pressure. So that's something to think about. Deadlines matter, documentations matter, mistakes matter, right? If you mess up in school, you fail a test, you fail a test. You restart it again, pay the $175, whatever the fees are nowadays. But if you work on aircraft, like I was, like a 19-year-old mechanic in the military, if I mess up, and I have before, somebody can get hurt. Luckily, nobody got hurt. Luckily, in the 15 years that I served, nobody got hurt. But the mistakes I've done is that they could have gotten hurt. 1,500 psi of hydro, and it might have been. Well, I doubt it was 3,000, because the guys were just starting to turn up the hydro, and I had left one of the solenoid out, hydraulic solenoid in the nose gear of a can jet loose, and made a mess. But yeah, it was not good. things like that happen all the time. I make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. As some of you already know, I've made mistakes where it hurts, a lot of people, and trying to recover. And that's the best I can do is recover, and then you know uh, make things right with everybody that I affected. So, but when it comes to aircraft, you can mess up paperwork, you can not do your paperwork, and it can hurt people. Paperwork isn't the worst outcome. The environment builds something different. That environment builds something different. All right. So most civilian technicians build experience slowly over time. It's true. We've done inspections before breakfast. Done inspections while we were walking around, having doing these pre and post flights, mid through flights. Uh, quite a bit. And from what I understand in the civilian side, things are a little slower, which is good. It's just different tempos, different pressures, less responsibilities, and don't think about it as if you're not going to pick up things. You're going to pick up things. Things, a lot of systems work most likely similar to what you worked on before, right? So, comparing you to a school is probably not fair. However, you're once you get into a company, you're ready to go, hot and ready to get ready to go. So you don't come with beginner experience. You come with professional experience, right? And you have it. You must believe that you have it. So when you come to the negotiating table, a recruiter cannot try to pull one under you. Okay. So that way, militaries don't ask, "Is this good enough?" It asks this by book to sign off and ready for inspection. They know it. You already know that there's standards. You know that it has to be a certain way. You got QA looking at you, and it has to be perfect by the book. That I know in my time that was pushed, and that's probably why even from I was 18, like I could probably count a couple of fingers for the mistakes I've done. Have I broken things? Yes, I've broken things. I can probably think just one thing, that's probably caused not a grounded aircraft, but to cancel a flight, right? To cut a mission early, and that bothered me a lot. And that whole situation was terrible. I feel bad, now that looking back on it. But those are the things. Mistakes. Everybody's gonna make mistakes. And I made a bad one that day, and um, yeah, it was just bad environment at the time. I'm not trying to make excuses. It's still all on me. It was just at the time. Yeah, it's you got to go through a process. If you go through the process, you check everything. You can, even half asleep, you will accomplish a task. And doing this over and over and over and over, it you just build a memory. Okay, so let's see. See, I got notes here, so that way I can stay on track, talk to you guys about instead of rambling off, because I tend to do that, and I'm trying to keep this focus. All right, so we come up with standards and discipline to be prepared to always have. Obviously you want to come with notes, studying, training, and before, right? So in the military, this is a thing. You get ready. You know that QA is coming over. You gotta look through the book. Make sure you got all your tools. You do this on everyday job. What you do through the job? Okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I was like, okay, I remember this, I remember that, and I need this type of tools and all this jazz. And that's one of the reasons why companies love you. They want to have these guys ready to go. And you're not going to just be right away plug and play, but you're going to be ready. And you're going to understand all the systems. You're going to understand, just get to work. Okay. They don't pay for more for potential. They will pay more for reliability. Okay. So they already know your background. You come with experience, professional experience. Okay. Just remember that. You come with professional experience. All right. So that, let's see. Now that there's this part that would make you pause. Okay. Every year, 22,000 of us mechanics gets trained every year of all types of airframes, all types of guys. Okay, that's what the stat is. And if you work in the military side of things and you know the stats across all branches, let me know if it's wrong. And this was a study by one of these associations that said that less than 10% of the military mechanics go into the civilian side to continue their civilian maintenance things. To me, that's freaking crazy. Yeah, of course, not everybody wants to continue being an aircraft mechanic. I went into business. Well, first I went into some contracting work and did some civilian side. That was not very much, a year while I was building Code One, and um, and then I got into doing Code One. So it's crazy. You can, like, less than 10% is like, it's almost like there's a lack of awareness. There's not so much a lack of a talent shortage. It's that these guys don't know, and I want to build the awareness, grow the awareness that, like, hey, this is a hot industry. They're looking for you guys. They're looking to hire great mechanics. A shop in general aviation. There's a gentleman that I know, J&G Aviation. They pay mechanics really well for general aviation. Shoot, I'm not even. I'm thinking just go help out for a while. Because it's the guys are awesome. All they appreciate veterans. They're veterans themselves. They got most of the team is veterans, and he's looking for more veterans. And the way they explained to me, compared to what he's seen, talent wise and school wise, he prefers to trust guys who've served before. So there's been a huge failure on the awareness. Part of it, I think, is because military doesn't want to lose their guys. I've been kicked out of guard bases. I've been kicked out of some locations because they don't want to lose their guys. So, um, and yeah, it's crazy. So the enemy here is not civilians. It isn't the schools. It isn't the FAA. It's just the enemy is confusion. This. That's why I want to bring guys who work in the industry, and then they can come out to you, and talk to you like, hey guys, we're looking for guys. This is what you need to leave from the military. Don't have all that dark humor and raunchiness. You might want to leave it there because that'll get you in trouble on the outside. But besides that, there's a lot of great guys, cool, and making big money. So I want to grow the awareness on that part. Bring these guys from the outside, director of maintenance guys, to talk to you, so that way you get the right information. Okay, and this can cause time, stress, and cost your confidence. And for the most maintainers, this can cost you years, because you probably didn't even have to start so low on totem pole, and then go over to majors. You could probably start for majors right away. And we're trying to grow the awareness where you know where to go and guide you in the right way. Okay. This AMP isn't scary. Just the exams it's not scary. It's just that it's a lot of work to do. That's it. And you get it done. And I'm gonna get it easy as possible. That almost makes you feel like, is this real? When you have that deal so good to be true. You guys, but FAA recognizes your experience. You just need to test out. So we give you the questions and answers so you can test out. And it's a lot of questions, but it's real. So the FAA stops feeling intimidating. Employers stop feeling out of reach. Okay. Isn't scary anymore. Okay, cool. And you just got to put in the time to work and, be a part of there's tons of resources for you to start your AMP. Get your AMP while you're in. Or, if you're a veteran, there's resources out there. Let me see. There we go. I don't know how y'all see it in your screen, but maybe you guys in the swing shift, it's almost midnight, trying to get this done because trying to go 365 days of doing videos. That's my goal. I hope y'all guys can help me stay on top of that. But we're gonna do these type of videos. We're gonna do webinars once a week. We're gonna do classes. We're gonna do, and then just educating, informational stuff. Just keep pounding it. And a lot of it is just by me. But I love this stuff. I've been doing it for a long time. Most of what I've done is been doing it for free for long periods of time, and nobody cares about that. Not that I didn't try and get y'all guys to be willing to offer me, but I enjoy it. When I first, at the moment that I knew about it, I wanted to put everything into it. Any skills that I had in marketing, which I thought was important, let's do it. Going door to door, talking to offices. I was like, hey guys, you're doing this, and this is free, just helping out. And there's no money, and I'll still do that kind of part for free with no money because I just think this stuff is valuable. There's a great career on the outside, and that's what is a big part of you guys being stressed about. And I'm trying to tear down that confusion, provide some clarity on this industry from director people who actually will be hiring you, who feel the pain and they need you. I got away from doing recruiters. I got away from doing, people who don't matter in the aviation, but the people who really feel the pain. So, so what I'm trying to do is, that this is what the channel exists for, this one reason, to translate your experience into civilian systems that you just never learn how to, it could be daunting in the first person. I still gotta remember to go back and see it from your side, because now I understand it and it's so easy. But for you, when I'm trying to remember how I felt the first time going through this, because it was months, and it only took months because on top of that, just repeated process, repeating, because there's, I don't even know. I think I was going down to the rabbit hole of trying to get the most information ever. And I remember I was going through this process, and I came across this POC. He was a liaison between Davis Mountain and Scottsdale, FISDA, and we became good friends. I started doing his job, helping guys get prepared. I had a checklist, getting these guys prepared. And I don't even think I was in an official assistant liaison. I just did it because I enjoyed it. I wanted to help the guys. After I knew what the benefits were to have this certification, I started volunteering myself to help guys. And then I kind of fell a little more in love with aviation, especially aviation maintenance. So, my dream was, I'm looking at, Lockheed Martin. There's a plant in Fort Worth, and I wanted to work on aircraft. Wanted to work on those machines, and I wanted to continue that. So, um, and there's different sectors. I think business aviation is super awesome. I'm waiting for a spot to be open for the Dallas Cowboys. Yep, I'm a Cowboys fan, and waiting for a spot to open just to be part of the team. Yep, I don't like everything about the Cowboys, like their owner, but as far as the team, that's my team, and be a lot better if that guy at least just steps away to let somebody handle the duties of general manager. That's just me, um, but yeah, um, but yeah, I'm not gonna be putting any fluff, no hype, no waste of time. It doesn't work if I'm just doing all this to create something, because you're gonna find out, and um, if there's no career for it, then I wouldn't be here, because this is a lot of time, especially doing it for free for you guys. You know, um, if there's no money in it, so there's some jobs that there's no money in it. There's employers trying to get you at the very bottom dollar, but there's also a lot of employers trying to get you at top dollar, and it doesn't even matter what sector, even general aviation. Some guys who I know is trying to pay newly veterans to be very comparable to airline, these regional ones. So uh, please follow this channel. This QR code is here. There's a free AMP course, and that I built with the instructors that I have, and please let them know. It's right now it's free. It's going to be changing soon. And if you're in the military, you're a veteran, tired of feeling like you're starting over, get this AMP. You will feel like it, but you are not going to be seen as a newbie, as in skill wise. Like, you come with the basics, you come with professional experience, you know how to turn a wrench, you're an expert at it, the environments are not going to bother you. Done with all the BS in the military that comes with it. Uh, because we say it's BS only because there's high standards, extreme discipline that you have to have, and you got to have those in aviation, because you can't make any mistakes. And we're just providing clarity. Okay, so please follow this channel and go into my school here. There's a QR code. Sign up, introduce yourself. Let's get as many possible to get their AMP. Let's improve that that below 10% to, let's go quarter of you guys, 25 people. I'm trying to help out thousands as much as possible. Okay, so all this 2026, my goal is to do this. This is for me. Do this every day for 365 days. It's going to be up and down, different schedules, until I figure out what I'm going to do. If I'm going to keep it at night, or I'm going to keep it in the morning, or it's just pop up when I feel like it, which I like to do. So I don't want you feeling like you're behind. You're in the right place. All right. So thank you for watching this. Please like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is, and whatever channel you're watching me from. If you have questions, I'll mostly respond to the LinkedIn messages, and yeah, LinkedIn is the best spot for you to reach me. So go there and follow me, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.